This forum is a prestigious international gathering, jointly hosted by the World Meditation Day Committee and the Jungto Society. To begin, I invite you to watch a brief film introducing these two organizations.
In the age of rapid AI development, society faces unprecedented opportunities and challenges. Experts predict AI could replace 90% of jobs, sparking existential, emotional, and meaning crises. How can humanity find peace and purpose amidst waves of change? This question demands urgent answers. In 2023, Ven Miao Hai, inspired during the SJTU alumni meeting, proposed World Meditation Day, recognizing its urgent modern relevance. On February 24, 2024, Venerable Miao Hai, Zhen Fan, and Wu Guan submitted a petition to the UN to establish World Meditation Day. From Liechtenstein to the UAE, Uzbekistan, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and Korea, Ven Miao Hai journeyed across the globe, fostering discussions on meditation's significance and its universality. On May 10th, Prince Aloy of Liechtenstein endorsed the proposal, forwarding it to his foreign minister and the UN delegation, an important testament to global support. On July 8th, Dr. Miriam Ori of Liechtenstein discussed the formal submission of the World Meditation Day proposal with Venerable Miao Hai, a major step for this global initiative. On September 23rd, the World Meditation Foundation was registered in Liechtenstein, a key milestone in globalizing this initiative and laying the foundation for a long-term impact. The foundation engaged with the Vatican and Rome, promoting interfaith and international dialogue to advance World Meditation Day. In October, he discussed a meditation framework with Dr. Q Donghong of SJTU, paving the way for global academic collaboration. After extensive negotiations, the UN General Assembly officially passed the World Meditation Day proposal, symbolizing a global pursuit of peace and wisdom.
Through meditation, then only can we establish world peace and unity outside.
We shall now proceed to consider draft resolution A79L27.
The following countries have also become co-sponsors: Austria, Bahrain, China.
Which is so decided.
This resolution, a testament to global unity, marks a turning point in the world's focus on mental peace and spiritual health. World Meditation Day provides a global platform for rediscovering peace and strength in a chaotic world. World Meditation Day unites people from diverse cultures to share in peace and joy. The Foundation continues to organize global meditation initiatives, ensuring the long-term spread of World Meditation Day's message of peace and spiritual wellness. Winter is coming. Can spring be far behind? The spring of World Meditation is coming. World peace has hope.
What is the way for all of us to be happy together? In 1988, Jungto Society was founded with the aspiration of one practitioner. By adopting the original teachings of the Buddha as the core values and inheriting the legacy of the Buddhist reform movement and the Korean independence movement, he ultimately found the path to becoming a happy practitioner.
첫 출발이 나부터 행복하게, 두 번째가 다른 사람도 행복할 수 있도록.
A world where individuals are happy, society is peaceful, and nature is beautiful. One person's aspiration became the aspiration of hundreds of thousands of people and has spread from Korea to Asia and to the entire world. When you're happy, I'm happy too. We open the path for everyone to be happy together, based on the Buddhist worldview of interdependence. Letting go of our egos possessions, and obstinacy. Jungto Society is a volunteer-based community, and its members practice, donate, and volunteer. By sharing time and talent with one another and working together, we solve problems together. We pioneer new path of volunteering. The Peace Foundation, Good Friends, Echo Buddha, and Join Together Society practice the values of sharing and harmony. We provide relief aid not only in Korea, but also in India, the Philippines,
An island often depicted as an area of armed conflict, but more slowly rising to address the challenge of peace and development.
Myanmar, Afghanistan, and other developing countries, as well as North Korea. When Korea was on the brink of war, we held a peace rally with 10,000 people. Also, we led a campaign to submit a petition with 100,000 signatures to the White House calling for a peace treaty on the Korean Peninsula. We take the lead in preserving peace. In order to save our planet Earth, we practice a frugal lifestyle of eating less, wearing less, and consuming less. At Jungto Society, each member acts as a small puzzle piece that completes a mosaic image of the Buddha. Each and every member has been part of small miracles in bringing about individual and social changes. It all begins with practice. Guided by the Buddha's teachings, Jungto members begin every day at 5 a.m. with 108 prostrations, sutra reading, and meditation. Venerable Pamyun Sunim teaches us that meditation is more than just sitting still. Being fully aware as you eat, walk, or work, maintaining a calm focus in every moment. That is true meditation. Since 2003, Venerable Pamyun Sunim has led meditation retreats for the public with over 21,000 participants joining 276 sessions to date. Following the launch of online programs in 2020, Jungto Society now offers Sunday meditation and half-day programs tailored for busy urban dwellers. On December 21st, 2025, for the first UN-designated World Meditation Day, 5,000 Jungto members participated both on-site and virtually in a 15-minute global simultaneous meditation for world peace. Unified mind, peace of the world. This March 2026, join us at the second World Meditation Day Forum in Korea as we bridge tradition and science to open a new future for meditation.
We'll now officially commence the second World Meditation Day Forum with our opening meditation. We invite you to center your awareness on the present moment. At the first sounding of the bell, please close your eyes and settle your mind in peace. We'll conclude with the second sounding of the bell. The unified mind, connecting tradition and science for the future of world meditation. Following the United Nations designation of December 21st as World Meditation Day to promote human happiness and global peace, the WMDC successfully organized a global 15-minute simultaneous meditation. Today, we're honored to convene the second international forum here at the Jungto Seoul Center. We extend our deepest gratitude to everyone who has gathered here to grace this significant occasion. As highlighted in the introductory videos, we'll now hear opening remarks. On behalf of the WMDC, please welcome Father Cyprian Concilio, the committee representative for the World Meditation Day Committee, the very body that proposed this initiative to the United Nations. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you and good morning. I'm honored to be here to help open our day today. I do serve on the World Meditation Day Committee, as you noticed. I want to thank also Punim Sunim and the staff here at Jungto, the wonderful warm welcome in this beautiful facility. Congratulations for that. And so impressed by all the work that you do here and globally. I want to emphasize, I live in Rome at this point. I don't work for the Vatican. I don't represent the Vatican, but I do work with them. I represent monastic and religious dialogue for Benedictine, Cistercian, and Trappist monks all over the world. I'm the International General Secretary, so that gets me to travel in many places to meet my colleagues around the world. It's my first time in Korea, and I'm experiencing a wonderful warm welcome and an immersion in the Korean culture. So, 감사합니다 also for that. Thank you. I was also able to represent us in Geneva at the United Nations this past December, and some of what I have to say to you this morning is how I also addressed the General Assembly there when we inaugurated the new meditation room at the Palais des Nations in Geneva. There's a little piece of wisdom that comes from the great scientist Albert Einstein that gets mentioned often these days. The exact quote is from 1946, just as the human race was entering that era of the first atomic bombs. And he was obviously, as a physicist, very interested in all this and troubled by it. Here's his quote. Often in evolutionary processes, a species must adapt to new conditions in order to survive. Today, the atomic bomb has profoundly altered the nature of the world as we knew it, and the human race consequently finds itself in a new habitat to which it must adapt its thinking. I find it interesting, he says, even just to survive, let alone thrive. A simpler version of this might be, and this is the version I use all the time, the problems that we face in our day and age are not going to be solved by the same consciousness that created those problems in the first place. Especially the UN talks about the polycrisis that we're facing in the world. And so we need a new consciousness, perhaps even just to survive, if not to thrive. What I call a transformed consciousness or an evolved consciousness. Now, if the atomic bomb had profoundly altered the nature of the world as we knew it already in 1945, what is it that has further altered the world by this first quarter of the 21st century? If we could substitute 9/11 and the rise of terrorism or globalization and nationalism or the World Wide Web or the promise and threat of AI for those atomic bombs that were nicknamed Baby Boy and Fat Man, cute little nicknames for horrible weapons of destruction, it seems obvious to me that the problems we face in our times are not going to be solved by the same consciousness that created those problems in the first place. Desperately, we need a new consciousness. And my sisters and brothers, my friends, that's why we're here today. I'm going to speak from my own tradition. St. Paul, in his letter to the Romans, writes a very strong line. He says, this is right at the beginning of chapter 12, the letter to the Romans. He says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your..." Now, the next word there is usually weakly translated in English as mind, by the transformation of your mind. But the Greek word that Paul uses there is actually very strong. It's the word nous, which is something very specific. I know there's enough philosophers in the room, so you'll forgive me this. In the Aristotelian sense, that word nous is something that lies beyond our sense perception, beyond our memory, beyond our imagination. According to the classical medieval philosophy, the individual nous is actually connected and stems from the universal nous, from the divine cosmos nous, from the created order. It's something that we share in, a universal consciousness we share in. And of course, both the Stoic and the Christian perspective, this is the broadest understanding of logos, which at least from my understanding is at least related to the Chit of Sanskrit and the Tao of China, this universal wisdom. So since there's not an adequate translation of this for me from our European languages, I usually just translate St. Paul to say, "Be transformed by the renewal of your consciousness." And what the spiritual traditions have shown, or at least what spiritual traditions have claimed, is first of all, that it's at this deep level of our consciousness that the actual transformation of consciousness takes place. We need to be transformed by the renewal of our consciousness. And that happens at a depth we human beings rarely access. That transformation happens at a level of our consciousness we rarely access. We usually live very much in the thought waves on the surface of our ordinary consciousness. What the spiritual traditions have also claimed and shown is that, provoked by this deep work of spiritual practice, an actual transformation takes place at this deepest level of human consciousness, an evolution, you might say. A contemplative experience, a mystical experience, can lead to a whole new way of understanding and articulating both the nature of what it means to be a human being, what we might refer to as a spiritual anthropology, as well as the nature of reality itself, what philosophy and theology might call ontology or cosmology. This mystical experience, the contemplative experience, gives us a whole new way of knowing ontology and cosmology. And apropos our topic at hand, what I have found over and over again in studying the world's authentic spiritual traditions is that the Enlightenment experience, if and when it's provoked by this deep work of spiritual practice, brings about an experience of the unity of all being as a collateral effect of this transformation of consciousness. It goes with it. Those who see the self in all beings and all beings in the self hate none, say the Upanishads. Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself. This transformation brings about an experience of the unity of all being. And that in turn carries with it an aspiration for peace among people and peoples as an obvious and logical consequence. And that was actually how Albert Einstein articulated his solution too. He simply said, today we must abandon competition and secure cooperation. And that too is why we're here. So my conclusion is this. We come from so many different countries, but those who are making policy decisions are in dire need of this transformation and evolution of consciousness that can only come about from the deep work if we're not going to just survive, but even thrive as a race. So what we're doing for our own nations too. No government leader to the left or to the right or to the center has adequate solutions to the problems we face unless and until they're doing this work, because the problems we face are not going to be solved by them. They're not going to be solved by that. They're only going to be solved by a new consciousness, not going to be solved by the same consciousness that created those problems. What we're doing for the whole world. Some kind of conversion, transformation, evolution has to take place in our collective consciousness. And I believe that the deep work of mindfulness and meditation is the surest, time-tested engine of that transformation. And so I say one more time, what we're doing here, we're doing for the sake of the human race. We're doing for the sake of the whole world. Both the transformation of our consciousness and seeking the cooperation and the common paths together. And in the name of the World Meditation Community, I'm happy to say that various members of our committees are here. From the Meditation Experts Committee, there's also Sheikh Raja Harmayan from Mauritania, my brother Siddhartha Krishna from North India, the Venerable Bhante Anuruddha, Mr. Liu. From our Scientific Research Committee, Dr. Jin and Dr. Hu. From our Humanities, Arts and Ethics Committee, Ms. Huang and Ms. Fu. From the Retreat Center Alliance, Maggie Che. From our advisory group, of course, Venerable Miao Hai. We also have other on-site guests as well as 9 other online speakers from the World Meditation Day Committee joining us from India, from Japan, Sri Lanka, the USA, China, and Canada. So we are already united in many ways. So once again, I thank you for your welcome, and let's all enjoy today together for the sake of the whole world.
Thank you deeply for your moving congratulatory remark, Father. I was particularly struck by your insights on the need for a new consciousness to address the wars and chaotic events today. Your message about transforming our consciousness as a path toward peace was truly profound and timely. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're profoundly honored to welcome our next distinguished guest. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Se-Gyun Jung, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Korea. With his lifelong dedication to public service and national leadership, he has been a steadfast pillar of wisdom for our society. We invite him to the stage to share his congratulatory remarks. Thank you.
우리 대한민국에는 지금 봄이 시작되고 있습니다. 원래 봄은 희망의 계절인데 지구촌에서 일어나고 있는 여러 가지 어려움 때문에 희망과 행복한 봄보다는 힘든 봄을 우리가 시작하고 있는 것 같습니다.
Spring is about to begin in South Korea. Spring is traditionally a season of hope. However, all the challenges and difficulties and conflicts we're experiencing around the world makes it very difficult to have hope during this spring.
작년에 그 유엔에서 세계 명상의 날을 지정을 하고 또 유럽에서는 1차 포럼을 개최한 것으로 알고 있는데 오늘 우리 대한민국에서 2차 포럼이 개최되는 것은 아주 영광스럽고 기쁜 일입니다. 특히 이 기회에 세계 명상의 대가들을 뵙고 인사드리게 되었고 또 법륜 스님을 비롯한 종교 지도자들도 이렇게 함께 하셨는데 오늘 뵈어서 참으로 기쁘고 영광스럽습니다.
I understand that the UN designated last December as the World Meditation Day, and the first session of the forum has been already held, and the second World Meditation Forum is being held today in Korea. In light of that, it is an honor to be invited to speak to you on this occasion, as well as like to thank Venerable Pomyun S님 for inviting me here, and also being able to greet and meet all the world's leaders in meditative practices throughout the world. It is truly a great honor.
오늘 대한민국에서 2차 포럼이 열리게 된 것은 아주 행운인데요. 정토회가 존재하고 또 정토회가 이 명상과 관련된 오랜 전통과 역사 그리고 또 역량을 가지고 있기 때문에 가능했다고 생각이 되어서 법륜 스님과 정토회 회원 여러분들께 감사하다는 말씀을 드리겠습니다.
And it is truly an honor to have this event occur in Korea. And also like to point out that Jungto Society, under the tutelage of Venerable Pomyun Snim, has traditionally been involved as subject matter expert, as great teacher in the art of meditation. I think that is the connection, and that is the context by which we are able to hold this event in Korea today.
제가 10여 년 전에 그 법륜 스님의 지도 아래 한 하루 정도 그 명상을 체험한 일이 있었는데 지금 생각해도 참으로 행복하고 귀한 시간이었다 이렇게 생각합니다.
15 years ago, I had the opportunity to spend 3 days under the guidance of Venerable Pomyun Snim in meditative practice. And thinking back to this day, I think I recall it truly as a happy time for myself.
원래 저는 이제 정치를 하던 사람인데요. 지금 정치인들 때문에 세계인들이 제대로 잠을 주무시지도 못하고 불면과 고통에 시달리고 계신다고 생각해서 참으로 송구한 마음입니다.
I'm a politician, as you well know, but unfortunately, it is us politicians throughout the world that's causing a lot of insomnia and sleepless nights and suffering to a lot of people. On that note, I do apologize.
우리 대한민국도 그로부터 예외는 아닙니다. 그래서 오늘 제2회 세계 명상의 날 포럼을 이제 이틀 동안 갖게 될 텐데 이것을 계기로 해서 우리 대한민국 국민들에게도 명상의 중요성을 잘 알리고 또 함께 명상에 동참함으로써 그들이 마음의 평화와 행복을 만들어가는 그런 출발점이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.
In Korea, obviously, it's no exception to that. So I like to actually, leverage this occasion to also hopefully let the awareness build within the South Korean citizenship so that they can leverage the practice of meditation to bring about tranquility and equanimity to their own lives.
세계에서 함께 하신 최고의 명상 고수 여러분들 한국에서 좋은 시간 가지시고 편안하게 돌아가시기 바라겠습니다.
And all the great masters of meditation who has gathered here from diversely from throughout the world, I wish you a productive discussion during this event. And when you leave, I hope you leave with great memory of your stay here.
함께하신 우리 모두 세계의 평화와 또 마음의 안녕을 위해서 기도합시다. 감사합니다.
And let us pray together for the tranquility, equanimity, and peace throughout the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for those truly inspiring and visionary remarks. Your words have provided a meaningful foundation for our forum today. We deeply appreciate your presence and your continued support for world peace through meditation. Thank you. We now join today by a most distinguished guest representing the government of the Republic of Korea. We invite His Excellency, Mr. Young-soo Kim, First Vice Minister of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, to the stage for his congratulatory remarks. Vice Minister, please join us on the stage.
안녕하십니까. 문화체육관광부 제1차관 김영수입니다.
Good morning. I am Young-soo Kim, First Vice Minister of Culture, Sports, and Tourism.
먼저 제2회 세계 명상의 날 포럼의 개최를 진심으로 축하드립니다.
I'd like to extend my sincere congratulations on the convening of the Second World Meditation Day Forum.
이렇게 훌륭하신 분들 앞에서 축사를 하게 돼서 너무 영광이고 정세균 총리님께서 즉흥적으로 해주셨는데 통역사님이 잘해주시는 걸 보고 저도 용기를 내어서 동료들이 적어준 것보다는 제가 드리고 싶은 말씀을 드리겠습니다.
It's truly an honor to be speaking to you here, offering a word of congratulations, and also be honored by preceded by the former Prime Minister of South Korea, Mr. Jung Se-gyun, and the fact that he was his words were being interpreted properly gives me courage and hope for me to stay my peace here today.
첫 번째 인사말해 주신 시프리안 콘실리오 신부님께서 해주신 말씀에 정말 깊이 감동받았습니다. 1940년대 알버트 아인슈타인이 인류의 문제를 해결하기 위해서는 진정한 인식의 변화가 필요하고 다 같이 변화할 수 있고 근본적으로 변화해야 된다라는 말씀 참 좋았습니다.
I was truly impressed and touched by your words, Father Cyprian Concilio, especially when you quoted Albert Einstein with the concept that we need a transformative consciousness in order to go beyond the problems created by the current consciousness, and that we can get there collectively.
그때는 원자폭탄이었지만 지금은 기후위기라든가 글로벌이라든가 온갖 가지의 문제들이 있는데 이 문제들을 해결하기 위해서는 우리의 인식의 전환이 필요하고 그 인식의 전환의 중심에 명상이 있고 여기에 있는 명상 지도자분들과 유엔이 제정한 명상의 날이 얼마나 중요한 건지 알려주셔서 감사합니다.
It was atomic bomb back then. It's not today. We face various different issues, for example, climate crisis and whatnot, and that to resolve this issue, we've evolved beyond that. We need a transformative consciousness, and that meditation is the center that can drive that transformation.
그리고 그 궁극의 경제, 변화시킬 수 있는 궁극의 경제가까지가 얼마나 경험하기 어려운 건지, 그게 얼마나 어려운 단계인지도 말씀해 주셔서 감사합니다.
And thank you also sharing with us how difficult it is to actually get there, how difficult it is to actually tap into that energy for us to collectively evolve.
그럼에도 불구하고 지금 인류가 가야 할 방향은 지금 AI라든가 기후위기라든가 이런 것들을 해결하기 위해서 가야 할 방향은 다 같이 공동의 문제의식을 갖고 공동의 인식 전환을 해야 된다는 데 동의하고 우리 법륜 스님께서 이런 행사를 크게 열어주셔서 감사합니다.
And despite that, I fully agree with the fact that we have to collectively come together in order to drive this change. And the fact that Venerable 법륜 스님 is able to organize and host this event, truly thank from the bottom of my heart.
사실은 그 스님의 법명을 부르는 것도 조금 죄송한데 이게 신자의 입장에서가 아니라 정부 관료로 왔으니까 할 수 없이 부르겠습니다.
It is actually, I'm a little apologetic. You know, I feel embarrassed to be able to call the Venerable by his name. But you know, I'm here in the place as a representing the government. So I'm here in the position of government official, not as a worshiper or the faithful of his flock. So that please forgive me for actually voicing his name directly.
아침마다 눈 뜨면 오른쪽에 있는 핸드폰을 들고 스님의 하루를 보고 시작합니다. 그래야 그 전날 마셨던 술이라든가 그 전날 있었던 힘들 온갖 그 티끌로부터 좀 정화가 되고 그 다음에 이제 하루를 시작할 수 있는 힘이 생깁니다.
So whenever I wake up in the morning, I actually listen to the previous lecture by Venerable 법륜 스님. That allows me to kind of cleanse my mind, especially if I'm hungover from the previous night's activities, and also purify my attitude to face a brand new day.
스님께서 증문즉설이나 그 스님의 하루에서 지속적으로 반복해서 강조하시는 게 행복은 제가 이런 말씀드려서 좀 죄송하지만 행복은 괴로워하지 않는 상태가 행복이지 즐거움이 지속되는 상태가 아니다라고 하십니다.
So what Venerable Bumyun teaches us repeatedly is that happiness is not a state of elevated joy or pleasure. It is a state in the absence of suffering.
괴로워하지 않는 상태에 다다르기 위해서는 욕심을 따라가서도 안 되고 억지로 억눌러서도 안 되고 다만 알아차리고 지켜보라고 하시는 말씀을 늘 염두에 두고 있습니다.
And I keep in mind his further teaching and say to actually get at that state of happiness, you cannot cater to your sense of joy, nor you want to suppress your desire or attachments. Just sit back and observe.
염두에 두고 있지만 잘 안 됩니다.
Although, and I try to do so, but it's very difficult to follow his teachings.
그러나 그 힘으로 그래도 여기까지 하루하루 간신히 버티고 있습니다.
But nevertheless, the power of his teaching is the energy that allows me to stay here and go through it every day.
이제부터는 동료들이 써준 말로 마무리하겠습니다.
Now allow me to go back to the actual script that I was supposed to say before.
이번 포럼에서 오랜 지혜가 담긴 다양한 전통 명상법과 현대 과학의 따뜻한 시선을 바탕으로 더 나은 미래를 열어갈 마음의 힘을 기르고 인공지능 시대에 더욱 인간적이고 평화로운 삶을 만들어가는 길을 함께 찾을 수 있길 기대합니다.
Through this forum, I hope we can draw upon the profound wisdom embedded in diverse traditional meditation practices and compassionate perspective of modern science to strengthen the power of the mind, open pathways towards a better collective future.
문화체육관광부도 명상이 개인의 정신건강을 넘어 사회통합과 더 나은 미래를 만드는 중요한 열쇠라는 믿음으로 이러한 뜻깊은 논의와 실천이 이어질 수 있도록 적극 지원하겠습니다.
The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism firmly believes that meditation is not only essential for individual mental health, but also key to social integration at a better future. Accordingly, we will continue to actively support meaningful dialogue and practices in this field.
다시 한번 올해 포럼의 개최를 축하드리며 참석하신 모든 분들이 깊은 울림과 행복을 느끼는 소중한 시간을 보내시길 바랍니다.
Once again, I congratulate you on the successful convening of this forum. I sincerely hope that all participants will experience a time of deep inspiration and happiness.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Minister, for those inspiring words. Our next honored guests represent the National Assembly of the Republic of Korea. We're pleased to invite the Honorable Mr. Kyo-hoon Kim, Chairman of the Culture, Sports, and Tourism Committee, to share his congratulatory message. Please join me in welcoming him with a warm round of applause.
국회 문화체육관광위원회 위원장을 맡고 있는 김기웅 의원입니다.
So I am Assemblyman Kyo-hoon Kim. I'm the chair of the National Assembly's Culture, Sports, and Tourism Committee.
오늘 제2회 세계 명상의 날 국제 포럼 개최를 정말 진심으로 축하의 말씀을 드립니다.
I'd like to offer my heartfelt congratulations on the convening of the Second World Meditation Day Forum.
이런 뜻깊은 자리를 마련해 주신 우리 법륜 큰 스님과 또 기조 강연을 맡아주신 해국 큰 스님, 그리고 오늘 제가 평소에 존경하는 정세균 총리님과 우리 국회에서도 우리 민병덕 의원과 백승하 의원이 함께 해주셔서 더 뜻깊고, 오늘 명연설을 해준 우리 김영수 차관님께도 감사의 말씀드리고, 각 종교의 지도자분들이 이렇게 함께 해주셔서 이 행사가 더 뜻깊은 것 같습니다.
And so I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Venerable Pomnyon Sinim for organizing this meaningful gathering, to also Venerable, most Venerable Haeguk Sinim, who will be delivering the keynote address, as well as former Prime Minister Jung Se-gyun, whom I respect very much, and other colleagues from the National Assembly, and all the religious and spiritual leaders that we have here today from throughout the world to make this truly a meaningful event.
특별히 오늘 대한민국을 찾아주신 WMDC 대표 시프리안 콘실리오 신부님의 오늘 기조 강연은 너무나 감명을 받았습니다. 특히 정치인들이 명상을 꼭 해야 된다, 거기서 해답을 찾아야 된다, 이런 말씀이 뜻깊었던 것 같습니다.
Especially, I was truly touched by Father Cyprian Concilius' word of welcome opening this event. Especially, I took to heart his teaching or admonition that politicians should join in meditation.
지금 지구촌을 뒤덮은 전쟁의 공포가 있습니다. 그리고 이 대립의 정서가 우리 사회의 근간을 흔들고 있는데요. 특히 이념 간의 갈등, 또 이 세대 간의 갈등, 또 빈부격차로 인한 갈등, 이런 양극화가 아주 극심하게 지금 벌어지고 있습니다.
So today we face the fear of war and the climate of confrontation that envelop the global community and really threaten the very foundation of civilized society. And we are facing a bipolarization caused by ideological differences, generation divides, disparity between urban and rural regions, economic inequality. And meditation has emerged as a practical means of potentially healing this conflict.
명상은 갈등을 치유할 실천적 대안이라고 생각하고 인류가 나아가야 할 가장 선명한 지향점이 되고 있습니다.
And therefore, accordingly, meditation serves a clear guiding direction for humanity's future in terms of conflict management, as well as very programmatic means of healing such conflicts.
일찍이 글로벌 기업 구글에서는 사내 전문가 그룹을 구성해서 명상을 핵심 경영 전략으로 내재화 시켰다고 합니다.
So it is said that global corporations such as Google have already formed internal expert groups and integrated meditation into their core management strategies.
국내에서도 관련 모바일 앱 사용량이 급증하고 특히나 청년 세대를 중심으로 명상이 지속 가능한 삶의 양식으로 자리매김하고 있습니다.
In Korea as well, what we see, especially among the particularly younger generation, is that meditation is becoming established as a sustainable way of life.
제가 정치를 하고 있습니다만은 우리 국회에서도 좀 명상 포럼 같은 걸 만들어서 정례적으로 우리 의원들이 명상을 해서 자신도 찾고 뒤도 돌아보고 앞의 미래를 함께 구상하고 서로 화합하고 통합하는 그런 정치 풍토가 필요하고 특히나 우리 대한민국이 OECD 국가 중에서 자살률이 제1의 나라입니다. 특히 청년들의 자살률이 요즘 굉장히 높아지고 있습니다. 이런 차원에서 우리 사회의 새로운 정화를 위해서 이 명상이 절대적으로 필요한 시점이 아닌가 이렇게 생각하고 있습니다.
Especially as a politician, as a member of the National Assembly, I would love to see meditation as an event or as a practice ingrained into our practice as a political discourse so that we have a chance to reflect upon ourselves, but also to look back on our actions and look forward to guiding our behavior in the future, especially in South Korea. Among the OECD countries, we have the highest rate of suicide, especially among young people. So therefore, meditation provides a pragmatic means by which society as a collective can actually heal ourselves of this conflict.
매년 12월 21일이 유엔이 지정한 세계 명상의 날입니다. 24절기 중 밤이 가장 긴 동지를 하루 앞둔 날인데요. 가장 깊은 어둠 속에서 내면의 빛을 찾아서 치유의 길로 나아가자는 그런 숭고한 약속을 담고 있다고 합니다.
December 21st has been designated by the UN as the World Meditation Day. It falls one day before winter solstice, right? The longest night of the year in the traditional lunar calendar, symbolizing a noble commitment to seek inner light amidst emerging out of deepest darkness and to move towards healing.
동지의 어둠을 뚫고 솟아오르는 빛처럼 명상의 지혜가 혼란스러운 시대를 밝히는 등불이 되기를 바랍니다.
Just as light rises through the darkness of winter solstice, may the wisdom of meditation become a guiding lamp that illuminates this turbulent age.
대한민국 국회에서도 명상이 세계 곳곳의 사회적 갈등을 치유하고 국민의 삶의 질을 높이는 핵심 동력이 될 수 있도록 최선의 노력을 다하도록 하겠습니다.
And I promise to do my best in the National Assembly so that meditation becomes a driver of a further societal healing for the rest of the world as well as in Korea.
다시 한번 포럼 개최를 축하드리며 인류의 화합과 평화를 위해서 뜻을 모아주신 각 종교의 지도자분들과 함께하신 불자 여러분들께 진심으로 감사 말씀드리고 여러분의 건강과 행운을 기원하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Once again, I congratulate you on the convening of this forum. I'd like to thank all the distinguished guests here who are here to celebrate this forum together. And I wish all those who have gathered here in the spirit of human harmony and peace, good health, and happiness. Thank you.
We deeply appreciate your insightful remarks, Chairman. Thank you for your being with us today. It's a profound honor to host the World Meditation Day International Forum here in the Republic of Korea. Once again, we extend our deepest gratitude to our three distinguished speakers for gracing us with their presence and their remarks. So now, to honor the deep-rooted Buddhist heritage of our host nation, we are privileged to present the Sungmu, a traditional Buddhist dance symbolizing the spiritual journey toward enlightenment. Please welcome choreographer Myung-Ju An of the National Folk Kugak Center. Wow, what a truly mesmerizing and evocative performance. Once again, let us show our appreciation with resounding round of applause for choreographer Myung-Joon. Thank you very much. This forum is co-hosted by the WMDC and the Jungto Society, an organization committed to pure heart, good friends, and a clean earth. We now invite Venerable Bumyun Sunim, the guiding Dharma teacher of Jungto Society and co-chair of the World Meditation Day Korean Committee, to deliver his welcoming remarks and introduce our Korean guests. Please welcoming him with an enthusiastic round of applause. Venerable Bumyun Sunim, please join us on stage.
오늘은 세계 명상의 날 제정 기념으로 두 번째로 세계 명상 포럼을 하는 날입니다.
Today's the day we actually hold the second World Meditation Day Forum to commemorate the designation of the World Meditation Day.
오늘 이 뜻깊은 자리에 참여해 주신 내기윈 여러분들께 진심으로 감사드립니다.
And I sincerely extend my congratulations and gratitude to all those distinguished guests who are here today.
특히 외국에서 자비로 들여서 이곳까지 와서 발표해 주신 발표자님들께 감사드리고요.
Especially all those presenters today who came here overseas on their self-funding in order to present and share their wisdom here with us.
특별히 오늘 기조 발제를 해주실 해국 큰 스님께서는 산문 밖으로 출입을 안 하시는데 어려운 저희들의 부탁을 듣고 이렇게 참가해 주셔서 다시 한번 깊은 감사를 드립니다.
Especially, I'd like to extend a deep appreciation to the most venerable Haeguk Snim, who does not usually go outside of his practice, but based on our specific request, he has conceded to come here and bless us with his presence and a keynote address.
그리고 각 종교 지도자 원로님들께서 어려운 걸음 이렇게 함께 해주셔서 이 자리를 빌려서 감사드립니다.
And there's all the spiritual leaders and meditations here, teachers who are here today to share this event.
한국에서 두 번째 세계 명상 포럼을 했으면 좋겠다는 제안을 받고 망설였습니다.
At first, I was hesitant whether I should host and organize this event in South Korea.
이 행사를 하려면 또 많은 돈이 들잖아요.
Because events are expensive to hold. It requires a lot of resources.
근데 세상이 시끄러운 게 돈 때문에 시끄럽습니다.
But it is money that actually is creating a lot of tension and conflicts in this world.
그래서 그 시끄러운 거를 극복하자고 명상을 하는데 명상한다고 또 돈이 든다.
So we want to overcome this conflict through meditation. Then again, to meditate, we are actually spending money.
그리고 또 명상하면서 돈이 드니까 또 어딘가 정부나 기업에 가서 좀 지원해 달라고 또 요청을 해야 됩니다.
And because it takes funding and resources to hold such event for meditation purposes, now I have to go to politicians and corporations to ask for that funding.
그런 거 안 하려고 머리 깎고 중이 돼 가지고 또 그런 일을 해야 된다. 이 좀 모순이었어요.
So it was a little bit of contradiction because when I became a Buddhist monk to not to do such things, then again I ended up doing such things.
그래서 제가 이런 일은 제가 못하고 우리 대한불교 조계종에서 하는 게 좋겠다 하고 얘기를 했습니다.
So I suggested it's a counter offer that it shouldn't be me hosting this event. It should be the Joge order of Korea hosting this event.
근데 조계종에서 만약에 못 한다고 하면 그러면 제가 한다면 좀 특별한 방식으로 하겠다.
But if Joge order were to decline host this event at this time with such a short time frame, I said I'll host it according to certain conditions though.
모든 발표자들은 다 자비로 와야 한다.
So every presenter has to self-fund their way here.
왜 좋은 일을 하는데 왜 돈을 받고 하느냐? 자기도 좀 부담해야 된다.
I said this is a good thing we're doing, so we should all do our piece.
그리고 있는 시설을 이용하자.
And let's leverage the institution or the facility that we already
그리고
have.
모두 다 뜻 있는 사람들이 자원봉사로 운영을 하자.
And every staff should be volunteer.
그래서 오늘 승무를 춘 출연자끼지도 무료로 출연을 했습니다.
So even the dancer you just saw is actually a volunteer.
그래서 돈 없어 뭘 한다 소리를 하지 않는 그런 명상 포럼을 한번 해보자.
So let's try to minimize our resources in hosting a meditation event.
그래서 지금 이렇게 간소하게 준비를 했습니다.
That's why we have prepared this event in such a simplistic way.
물론 종단에도 요청을 했습니다. 이것을 2회를 한국에서 했으면 좋겠다 했더니 종단에서는 이게 너무 촉박하다. 이거 하려면 1년 전에 얘기를 해야지 몇 개월 놔놓고 하자. 이렇게는 예산 확보도 어렵고 준비하기도 어렵다. 그래서 이번에는 안 된다고 해서 제가 정토의 시설을 가지고 이렇게 간략하게 준비를 했습니다.
I did ask the Joge order to host this event. However, they said the time was a little too soon. They needed at least a year to prepare and to gather the resources to do a private event. Therefore, we decided by leveraging the existing Jungto Society's resources to actually host this in a very simplistic way.
세계는 지금 기후 위기로 인해서 또 전쟁으로 인해서 또 빈부격차로 인해서 많은 주민들이 고통을 겪고 있습니다.
The world is suffering. The people around the world is suffering due to various conflicts, climate crisis, inequality between the rich and poor. There are a lot of factors that drive this suffering.
자세히 들여다보면 다 자기 것을 많이 가지려고 하는 욕심과 자기 주장이 옳다는 성냄, 또 어리석음 이런 것이 기본입니다.
So underlying all this conflict is the common desire to gather more onto myself, to ensure that my viewpoint is primary and everything is about me, and try to aggrandize.
그리고 우리가 이런 어리석음이나 욕심, 성냄을 좀 내려놓고 사람과 사람이 서로 돕는 그런 좋은 것들의 관계를 회복하자. 자연과도 함께 살아가는 그런 관계를 회복하자 해서 저는 명상을 한다고 생각합니다.
So let us let go of this greed. Let us let go of our self-righteous anger and try to get along with each other as well as with nature. I think that's what meditation is all about.
근데 우리는 명상을 자꾸 이렇게 생각을 해가지고 명상을 하려고 하기 때문에 이것은 명상이라기보다는 제가 볼 때는 그냥 사색하는 것 같습니다.
But however, we actually want to think our way towards meditation, which makes it not meditation, but just thinking.
그래서 이 생각을 좀 쉬는, 생각을 좀 내려놓는 그런 명상에 대해서 우리가 좀 들어야 되지 않을까 하는 생각이 들었습니다.
So I would love to listen to the world's traditional meditation in which represent a cessation of thought, a letting go of thinking.
그래서 해국 큰 스님께 찾아가서 어려운 걸음을 부탁드렸습니다.
That's why I visited the most venerable Haeguk S님 to ask for his teachings.
오늘 이 자리에는 많은 한국 종교 지도자들이 참여했습니다.
We have a lot of Korean religious leaders here today.
뭐 자세하게 소개하려면 시간이 너무 걸리니까 자기 소개가 안 됐다고 섭섭해하지 마시기 바랍니다.
It takes a while for me to go through everybody, so if I skip over your name, please don't feel too bad.
먼저 해국 큰 스님께서 오셨고요.
So we have Most High Venerable Haeguk S님.
그다음에 천도교에서 전교령인 박남수 교령님께서 오셨습니다.
And we also have the former leader of Chondoism, an indigenous Korean religion, Pak Nam-soo.
그리고 성공회에서 박경조, 윤종모 주교님께서 오셨습니다.
And we also have from the Anglican Church of Korea, Bishop Park Kyung-jo as well as Yoon Jong-mo.
개신교에서는 우리 박종화 경동교회 원로 목사님께서 오셨습니다.
And we have representing Protestants, Pastor Park Jong-hwa. He's a pastor emeritus of the Gyeongdong Church.
원불교에서는 우리 김대선 원로 교무님께서 오셨습니다.
And we also have Kim Dae-sun from Won Buddhism.
네, 그리고 불교에서는 우리 대한불교조계종 전 포교 원장이신 지용 스님께서 오셨습니다.
And we have from Joge Order of Korean Buddhism, we have Venerable Ji-hong of the former head monk of Joge.
또 선명상 위원장인 우리 금강 스님께서 오셨고요.
We also have Venerable Kumgang
또 적경 스님께서도 오셨고요.
and Venerable Chokjong.
또 마가 스님께서도 오셨고요.
We have Venerable Maga.
다 이름 못 부르겠습니다. 이 정도 마치겠습니다.
Sorry, I can't go through everybody.
네, 국회에서는 오신 분들은 아까 다 말씀을 드려서 생략하겠습니다.
So allow me to skip over. Forgive me of naming the individual politicians from National Assembly who are here because they were introduced before.
네, 정부에서 오신 분들도 축사를 하니까 생략하고요.
And also the representatives from the current government.
명상 센터 등 관계되신 유관단체에서 20여 분의 관계자들이 오셨는데 이름 할 일이 벌어지지 않겠습니다.
And we also have representations from about 20 or so related meditation-related organizations throughout South Korea. I will not name that individually, but thank you for coming.
그리고 또 이 자리에 참여해 주신 여러 청중들께도 감사드립니다.
And also extend my thanks to all those in the audience who are attending this today.
우리는 곧 이제 선생님께서 법문이 있으시겠는데요.
And we'll soon hear from the Venerable.
선생님을 제가 어떻게 소개한다는 것 자체가 좀 어렵습니다.
It's very difficult for me to actually introduce him.
그러나 세속적으로 소개 말씀을 드린다면,
But if I were forced to verbalize,
네, 한국 불교의 위대한 스승 일타 스님의 제자시고요.
잘 안 들렸습니다.
예, 한국 불교의 위대한 스승 일타 큰 스님의 제자이시고요.
He is a disciple of the great master, great spiritual teacher of Korea, Ilta, Venerable Ilta S님.
네, 한국 불교가 선불교가 가나선인데, 가나선의 현재 한국 불교에서는 가장 위대한 스승이라고 말씀드릴 수 있겠습니다.
And I think he's currently sitting as the greatest teacher, spiritual teacher of Kanhwa tradition, Kanhwa-son traditional meditation of Korea.
다시 말씀드린다면 우리가 어떤 생각을 모으는 또는 생각을 하는 명상이 아니고 생각이 일어나기 이전 생각이 없는 경지에 있어서 다만 느끼고 알아차리는 것이 선이라고 말씀하십니다.
And I dare say that he teaches us that Zen meditation is all about not thinking your way to meditation, but to arrive at that state before thoughts.
그것을 말로 한다는 것은 어렵고 체험을 해야 합니다.
It's difficult to actually verbalize and describe that in words. It's something you have to directly experience.
그러나 우리는 또 말로서 이해하고 또 주고받기도 합니다.
But then again, as human beings, we communicate through words.
그래서 어쩔 수 없이 말로 하실 수밖에 없습니다.
So therefore, it is essential, inevitable that we communicate and teach through words.
그런 위대한 스승을 오늘 모셨습니다.
And we have such a great teacher with us here today.
네, 그래서 여러분들께서 그 문자에 너무 매이지 마시고 온몸으로 느껴보시기 바랍니다.
So when you hear his teaching, I don't want you to hear his words per se, but to directly experience his teaching throughout your mind and body.
네, 그러면 큰 스님을 이 자리에 모시는 걸로 해서 제 인사말을 모두 마치겠습니다.
And allow me to conclude by introducing and inviting the Most High Venerable to the stage.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
As Venerable Pomnyen Sunim noted, we're privileged to be joined by many prominent religious leaders, meditation masters, and scholars from across society. We thank you all for your presence. It is truly heartening to see such a vast and diverse gathering today, representing a global community united by a shared purpose. As Sunim highlighted, meditation serves as a profound and practical tool for every practitioner, allowing us to cultivate inner peace even amidst the complexity of our modern lives. Your presence here today truly resonates the collective commitment to making this ancient wisdom a living reality in our world. Okay, so we are incredibly fortunate to learn from it is now our most profound honor to invite a true luminary of the Korean Zen tradition, the most venerable Haeguk Sunim. He has dedicated over 6 decades to unwavering practice and transmission of Buddha's teachings. He is a living bridge to the ancient traditions of the Sun, and today he will grace us with a keynote address on theme Korean Kanhwa-sun meditation. Venerable Haeguk Sunim, please join us on stage. Okay. Let us once again center ourselves with the opening meditation.
시작해도 돼? 나는 종을 쳐야 시작하는 줄 알았지.
I didn't realize we had started.
명상을 통해서 하나된 마음을 보게 하고 모든 사람들이 행복을 위해서 노력하는 명상 지도자 여러분들께 두 손 모아 존경을 보냅니다.
I gather my hands to give you sincere respect to all the meditation teachers here today who are trying to unify us through this tradition of meditation.
그런데 한국 전통 수행법에서는 이 세상 존재 원리는 본래 하나된 마음입니다.
According to traditional Korean Buddhism teaching, we are already one to begin with.
세상은 완전하게 평화롭습니다.
We are completely at peace.
그런데 그렇게 평화로운 세상을 전쟁터로 만들고 오늘 이 시간에도 그 아까운 생명이 죽어가는 갈등은 오직 바깥의 세상에 있는 게 아니고 우리들 마음, 우리들 욕망에 있습니다.
The fact that we have created such battlefield out of this complete peace and we are sacrificing innocent lives to this regard, this destruction has been created by not externalities, but inside our own mind.
그런데 세상에서는 평화로운 세상을 자꾸 바꾸려고 하지 이 욕망이 일어나는 우리 마음을 바꾸려고 하지 않기 때문에 세상이 갈등에서 벗어나지 못하고 있습니다.
The world is not able to free itself from the conflicts because it is seeking peace from the outside, looking outwards to seek peace instead of letting go the attachment desires that's driving that conflict within our own minds.
그래서 한국 전통 간화선에서는 우선 욕망의 실체가 있는 것이냐 없는 것이냐 그것부터 정리를 먼저 하고 넘어갑니다.
So in Kanason tradition of meditation in Korea, the fundamental question we ask is that is there substance behind that greed, that desire?
제자가 부처님께 묻습니다.
A disciple asks the Buddha,
어떻게 하면 욕망을 벗어나고 참 지혜를 깨달을 수 있습니까? 하고 물었습니다.
He asks, how can I free myself from this desire, this greed, attachment, and be enlightened?
부처님 대답은 참 지혜를 찾지 말고 참 지혜 아닌 것만 놓아버려라.
And the Buddha answered, do not seek true wisdom, just let go everything else that's not true wisdom.
또다시 묻습니다.
And he asks us again,
어떻게 하면 어두움에서 벗어날 수 있습니까?
how can I escape this darkness?
부처님 대답은 어두움에서 벗어나려고 하는 생각을 놓아라. 어두움이란 없앨 수가 없다. 어두움을 없애고 싶으면 등불 하나만 밝혀라.
And the Buddha said, do not try to free yourself from darkness. Darkness is something that you can actually get rid of. But to free yourself from darkness, just light a lamp.
그 등불은 분별심, 즉 욕망과 지혜가 둘이 아니라고 하는 생각 끊어진 등불입니다.
And that lamp is something that was extinguished by your discrimination, your thoughts.
분별심을 없애려고 하는 게 아니라 분별심 속에서 분별심에서 자유로워지고 현상계를 벗어나려고 하는 게 아니라 현상계에서 현상계 구속되지 않는 게 우리 등불입니다.
So our lamp really consists of not you trying to escape from darkness, but trying to light your way through darkness, and you not trying to escape from the form-based world, but trying to go beyond the form.
이러한 얘기를 요즘 수행하는 사람들하고 얘기하다가 어렵다고 합니다.
And when I say things like this, people find it difficult.
그런 분들하고 비유를 들면 이 건물은 이 집은 법륜 스님 원력으로 지어졌습니다.
So in speaking with folks like this, let's take an example of this building. This building was created by the energy and the effort of Venerable Bumyun.
법륜 스님께서 벽을 쌓아 올리고 지붕은 만들었지만 요 공간, 허공은 만들 수가 없습니다.
Venerable Bumyun created the space here, created the walls that you see, created the bricks. However, he's not able to create the space in which we sit.
분명히 이 건물이라고 하는 분별심은 생겼지만 정작 우리가 쓰고 있는 공간, 허공은 생긴 바가 없습니다.
So we have this discrimination, this effort, specific effort, they created this building, but the space in which this building created was never created.
이 건물이 몇백 년 있다가 낡아서 없어져도 이 허공은, 이 공간은 없어지질 않습니다.
This building may be extinguished several years, may be brought down by the ages after several hundred years, but the space in which this building stood will always be here.
즉 태어남도 없으니 불생이요 멸함도 없으니 불멸이라 불생불멸이라고 하는데 한국 전통 수행법에서는 그 세계를 화두라고 합니다.
In a sense, there's no birth and there's no death. And in the traditional Korean tradition of meditation, that is called Hwadu, the Zen koan.
화두 참고법에는 스승과 제자의 관계가 대단히 중요합니다.
And in that Hwadu meditation practice, the relationship between the teacher and disciple is paramount.
요즘 스승다운 스승이 없다는 말을 많이 하거든요.
A lot of people say that there's no teacher to be found these days.
저도 인정을 합니다.
And I recognize that.
그러나 내가 볼 때 제자다운 제자를 만나보기는 더 어렵습니다.
But at the same time, it's more difficult to find a disciple that's worth of being a disciple.
제자가 제자답지 못할 때 스승은 결코 있을 수가 없습니다.
If the disciple is not worthy to be a disciple, then you cannot find a teacher worthy to be a teacher.
나는 누구인가? 제자가 제자로서 갖은 노력을 다하다가 한계에 부딪힐 때쯤 스승을 찾아갈 때 스승이지 아무런 마음의 준비도 없이 찾아간 스승은 스승일 수가 없습니다.
A disciple will have to kind of cross his own path and really be at a crossroads, at a block in which he's stuck in his practice. And when he's in his desperation and sincerity, finds someone to teach him, that's the teacher that he will find.
제자가 스승을 찾아갔습니다.
So a disciple has found his way to a teacher.
그 제자는 눈물도 흘릴 만큼 흘려봤고 정말 노력하다가 참으로 스승이 필요해서 찾아간 겁니다.
And that disciple has found a teacher after countless days of tears and frustrations in his practice.
스승님, 나는 누구입니까?
And teacher, who am I?
참지란 무엇입니까?
And what is the true self?
스승은 아무 힘도 들이지 않고 뜰 앞에 잣나무니라.
And the teacher said, do not expend any effort, do not strive.
스승을 스승으로 모시지 못하는 사람이 들을 때는 허무맹랑한 소리고 구름 잡는 소리밖에 안 됩니다.
And if you're not ready as a disciple to listen to the teacher, whatever the teacher says will be a conceptual and abstract, means nothing.
그러나 스승을 확실하게 믿는 제자에게는
To a disciple who truly believes in the teacher, however,
콱 막힙니다. 콱 막힙니다.
and there is a wall that he runs into.
앞뒤가 콱 막혀서 오직 모를 뿐입니다.
So the only thing left with him is not knowing. He feels
안다
hemmed in.
모른다 하는 그런 모름이 아닙니다.
Not an absence of knowledge or being wrong about something.
모를 뿐은 어찌 보면 청정입니다.
Not knowing something.
저는 그 모를 뿐인 청정과 바로 하나가 되지 못하고 엄청나게 방황을 했습니다.
I actually suffered a lot and was lost in my ways when I was younger because I didn't realize that great not knowing.
젊은 시절 좌북우에 잠깐 참선하려고 수행하려고 앉았으면 5분도 못 돼서 온갖 번뇌망상이 들어옵니다.
And whenever I sat in my youth to try to meditate, within 5 minutes I was filled with thoughts and distractions.
그때는 망상이 들어오면 왜 이렇게 망상이 많이 들어올까? 나는 안 되겠구나. 망상과 싸우느라고 시간을 다 보냅니다.
And I wasted my time fighting against illusions and thoughts, thinking, blaming myself, why am I so filled with delusions and thoughts that I cannot control?
이 세상 어디에도 망상은 없습니다. 들어올 데가 없습니다.
But there is no thoughts or delusions to speak of anywhere in this world. There is no place for it to enter.
내 지혜를 욕망에 휘둘려서 욕망이 하자는 대로 써가지고 만들어 놓은 내 발자국이 번뇌망상이고 분별심이지 누가 맡긴 것도 아니고 바깥에서 들어온 것도 아닙니다.
There's nothing external to it that actually enters your body as distraction, as evil thoughts. It is something that you have allowed your greeds and desires, attachment to wag the wisdom according to its will and allow this to seep through.
요즘 제자들을 가르칠 때
When I teach my disciples today,
망상을 이기려고 하지 마라.
I said,
어두움을 없애려고 하지 마라.
Do not try to overcome your distraction. Do not try to beat back the light.
부득이 비유를 하나 들어줍니다.
So this is an example.
바다에 가보면은 파도가 쉼없이 일어나고 있습니다.
If you go to the sea, observe the ocean, there's a ceaseless
큰
fluctuations
파도,
of the
작은
waves.
파도가 쉼없이 일어나는데
Great waves, small waves, countless.
그 큰 파도든 작은 파도든 파도에는 크고 작은 게 없습니다.
But there's no size. There's no big wave compared to small waves.
그 일어나는 파도를 우리 번뇌망상 생각이라고 가정합시다.
And so let's assume that these waves are our distractions, our thoughts.
잔잔한 바다를 지혜 부처라고 합시다.
And let's say a calm ocean is the wisdom, is the Buddha.
일어나는 번뇌망상 파도가 싫다고 파도를 싹 걷어내면 부처라는 잔잔한 파도도 말라 없어집니다.
So if you let go and eradicate all the waves in the ocean, you get rid of the ocean itself that represents the wisdom and the Buddha.
간화서는 번뇌망상을 사랑하는 법입니다.
So Kanwa-san actually loves the distractions, loves the delusions.
그러면 번뇌망상 파도가 일어나지 않게 하는 것은 파도를 없애려고 할 게 아니라 불어오는 바람만 없으면 파도는 그냥 그대로 바닷물 부처입니다.
So we're not trying to get rid of the waters in the ocean to get rid of distraction. We're trying to make the winds that creates those waves cease.
번뇌망상 한 생각 돌리면 부처인 것을
So even this distraction on the other side of that thin paper, thin coin is the Buddha.
그러면 수행자들에게 바람이란 무엇이냐? 불어오는 바람이란 무엇이냐?
And what is that wind to a practitioner that makes those waves?
구하는 마음이요 빨리 깨닫기를 바라는 욕망입니다.
And that wind is actually your desire to be enlightened quickly, and to be saved quickly.
모를 뿐인 그 화두는 구하는 마음 욕망이 들어올 틈이 없는 것을 모를 뿐이라고 표현을 합니다.
So Hwadu can signify the not knowing and the tight not knowing into which space that desire, that greed to be enlightened, to be saved cannot enter.
내 모든 번뇌망상이 모를 뿐인 화두와 하나가 됐을 때
And my thoughts and all this distraction becomes one with that great not knowing of the Hwadu.
번뇌망상 모든 욕망은 있는 게 아니라 밝은 지혜를 내가 사용하지 못했기 때문이라는 걸 확연히 보게 됩니다.
Then you realize that all these distractions are not there, are only existence because you are not able to leverage the existing wisdom that you hold.
저는 그걸 모르고 하도 수행이 안 되니까 성철 큰 스님을 찾아갔습니다.
I did not realize this, so I actually visited the great teacher, Venerable Songchol, to ask him.
스님이 깨달았으면 그 깨달음을 저한테 한번 보여주십시오. 보고 나면 제가 그 길 따라가면 될 거 아닙니까? 억지를 썼습니다.
And I insisted that if you are enlightened, show me the enlightenment, show me your enlightenment, so I can follow that path that you have blazed towards that enlightenment.
근데 그 어른은 욕을 아주 잘합니다.
But he was fairly abusive in his language when
그
he addressed
욕은
me.
감정의 욕이 아니라 우리에게 욕을 받아들이는 그릇을 키워주는 욕이었습니다.
And actually, he insulted us to create our resilience in being able to be insulted.
돌을 보여달라고 때를 쓰니 당장 하는 말씀이 이 돌상놈의 새끼야.
And so I asked him, please show me the Tao. And
눈을 질끈 감고 와가지고 안 보인다고 하면 어떡하란 말이냐?
he said, you bastard, you have
눈을
blinded
뜨고
yourself.
와서 본다 안 본다 보여달라 그래야지. 눈 뜨고 와 나가.
He said, you have blinded yourself and you insist on seeing the Tao. So
그냥-
go open your eyes first before you ask.
그냥 쫓겨났습니다.
So he kicked me out.
그런데 나오면서 스승욕을 있는 대로 다 했습니다.
So I actually insulted him back inside of my mind as I left.
깨달았으면 보여주면 될 거 아니냐고.
I said,
왜 저 모양이냐고.
Why doesn't it just show me? Why is it so abusive towards me?
그래가지고 경봉 큰 스님을 찾아갔습니다.
So I went to Venerable, Most High Venerable Gyeonggong.
성철 큰 스님이 가을바람, 채로건풍과 같다면 경봉 스님은 봄바람과 같은 그런 가풍입니다.
So if Venerable Songchol is like the kind of a wind, cold wind of the late fall, Gyeonggong Snim, Venerable Gyeonggong is like the soft wind of a warming spring.
찾아가서 스님이 분명 도를 깨달았다면 왜 못 보여줍니까? 보여주면 제가 보면 확실히 믿고 갈 거 아닙니까?
I said, since you are enlightened, you claim you're enlightened, why can't you show me your enlightenment? Once you show it to me, I'll truly believe in it.
그런 말씀이 지금도 눈앞에 생생합니다.
And what he responded with, I still remember.
뭐라고 하느냐면
What he said,
이놈아 꽃이 피면 봄인 줄 알아야지 왜 봄 찾아다니노?
he said, if a flower blooms, you should realize that it's spring.
나무에 싹이 피었으면 봄이 바로 눈앞에 있는 걸 알아야지 왜 신발 떨구면서 돌아다니노?
And if the trees bear leaves, you should know it's spring. And why do you go wandering around seeking spring somewhere else?
아주 고마운 말씀입니다.
And it was truly a grateful teaching to
그런데
me.
그 말을 못 알아들은 거예요. 그 말을 못 알아들은 거예요.
Nevertheless, I did not understand them at that time.
아 그래도 보여주면 될 거 아닙니까 했더니
I said, why don't you just show it to me?
정말로 알고 싶나?
I said, do you
스님
really want to
정말
know?
보고 싶습니다.
I said, really want to see it.
너 떼쓰고 짜증내고 묻는 그놈이다.
He said, it is that you who is insistent, who is stubborn, and who is greedy in asking me this question. It is he.
그보다 더한 답이 나올 수가 없습니다.
And you can't get a better answer than that.
이 강당에서 누가 정토회관 강당이 어딥니까 하면 바로 여기다. 이 강당은 보이니까 말할 수 있지만 깊은 산중에 가서 지리산에서 지리산이 어딥니까 하면 너가 서 있는 자리다. 그것밖에 답이 나올 수가 없습니다.
And if you are somebody in the audience and ask where's the Jungto Center, we can say it's here because you're sitting here. If in the deep inside the mountain of Chiri Mountain and ask where's Chiri Mountain, and the only answer that's possible at that situation is that you are standing on it.
그래서 그 불생불멸 욕망과 지혜가 둘이 아닌 자리를 깨달은 스승은 이렇게 노래를 했습니다.
And that teacher sang a song of enlightenment, that enlightened teacher.
귀로 들으려고 할 때는
When you want to listen, seek to listen with your ears,
그렇게 안 들리더니
it was hard to hear.
눈으로 들으니 이렇게 확연한 것을
But now that I listen with my eyes, it's transparent.
부디 그를 찾지 말게.
So do not seek.
찾을수록 점점 멀어지나니
The more you seek, the further it will go.
이제 나 홀로 당당하게 걸어가니
And I walk standing
가는
up,
곳마다 그를 만나네.
and I see him wherever I go.
그는 이제 나이지만
He is me.
나는 그가 아닐세.
Now I am no longer him.
그와 내가 사라진 자리입니다.
And that is a place that I have left and disappeared.
만들어진 것은 반드시 허물어집니다.
What's constructed will deconstruct.
요즘 흔히 마음을 고요하게 만든다. 마음은 고요하게 만드는 게 아니라 본래 고요한 본질입니다.
And people say, I want to make my mind tranquil and calm. But you don't construct that such mind. It is already there.
그래서 우리는 밖으로 모든 것을 해결할 게 아니라 내 욕망이 지혜와 둘이 아닌 것만 알고 욕망을 없앨 게 아니라 지혜를 활용만 하면 욕망이란 어둠은 그냥 지혜가 나타난 작용일 뿐입니다.
So let us not seek solutions from the outside of us. Once we realize that your wisdom as well
거기에서
as your
보면
desire is the same, you just let go of the desire to find your
모든
wisdom.
것은 마음뿐입니다.
And ultimately, everything is the mind.
맑은 호수에 가보면
Go to a lake that's calm.
달도 별도 나무도 온갖 삼라만상이 다 비춥니다.
And you see the reflection of the moon, the stars, and the trees.
그 달을 건지려고 하는 어리석음에서 벗어나야 됩니다.
You have to let go of the foolishness to want to touch that moon that's reflected in the lake.
삼라만상이 다 있는 것 같지만 물과 내가 하나가 된 청정뿐입니다.
So everything looks to be constructed and visible, but
그러한 차원에서 보면 여러분들은 내 마음이 나타난 바고 나는 여러분들이 나타난 바입니다.
So in that perspective, your mind is mine, and I'm reflected. My mind is reflected in yours.
이 정토회관 요 공간이 전 세계와 하나인 공간입니다.
And so this space in which we stand and sit here today is shared, represents the space of the world.
그 허공떡에 우리는 앉아 있고
And we sit upon that space.
허공떡에 잠을 자고 허공떡에 살고 있으면서도
And we live in that empty space.
허공의 고마운 줄을 모릅니다.
Yet we are not grateful to that space.
모든 것이 참 생명이고 이대로 마음에 등볼 지혜이건만 참 생명의 고마움을 모릅니다.
Everything is true life. Everything is the light, the lamp that lights our minds. Yet we are not grateful for that true life.
부디 밖에서 해결하려고 하지 말고
Do not try to solve your problems from the outside.
내 마음을 잘 길들여서
Train your mind.
하나 된 마음.
One mind.
나도 없고 남도 없을 때 어떠합니까 하니
What if I don't exist, neither you exist?
대나무 그림자 마당을 쓸어도
So if we actually sweep the yard,
먼지 하나 일어나지 않고
no dust is created.
달과 별이 물속을 투과해 들어가도
And when the moons and the stars are reflected on the lake,
물결 하나 일어나지 않는다.
and if I go to seek it, I do not create waves.
이것이 하나 된 마음이요 우리들 참 생명입니다.
This is a unified one mind. This is our true life.
제가 어렸을 때 스승들이 본문은 이렇게 끝나고 나서는 반드시 하를 합니다. 하고는 하를 합니다.
So when in my youth, traditional teachers would actually utter
나는
something like that.
왜
at the end of their
그렇게
teaching.
하를 하는가를 이유를 못 났는데
I never realized the why behind that utterance.
지금 와서 보면
But now that I recall it,
지금까지 내가 한 모든 말은 말일 뿐이다.
I think it's trying to
그 말이
signify.
자취를 싹 쓸어버리고 본질을 보여주는 기가 막힌 방법이었습니다.
So I think it was a strategy to say that all the words that I just taught you are just merely words, and that this utterance actually cleansed the words for me to see the disciple, the student, to see into the true nature of these teachings.
저와 여러분들이 부디 하나 된 마음을 위해서 이 세상이 법륜 스님 원력처럼 모두가 나만이 아니라 모두가 행복한 그러한 극락이 이루어지기를 간절히 바랍니다.
And I sincerely pray and desire that we can all unify in our unifying one mind and bring about happiness in this world.
끝났습니다.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Haguk Sunim, for those incredibly profound words. You've reminded us that the peace and wisdom we seek globally must first be recognized within ourselves. I was particularly struck by your message that desires and wisdom are not two separate things, and that our delusions are actually the path to finding answers. As we work toward global solutions, may we remember your advice to stop searching for spring outside when the flowers are already blooming right in front of us. Thank you so much for opening our eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our opening ceremony and keynote address. We shall now transition into our first session. To mark the beginning of this new session, let us once again center ourselves within a short opening meditation. We'll now proceed with our thematic presentations. Guided by the forum's theme, The United Mind, Connecting Tradition and Science for the Future of World Meditation. Our first session will explore the scientific foundations of meditation practice. We're honored to host two distinguished experts to share their insights on this vital subject. Our first presenter is Mr. Sheikha Abdul Malik Rajahadayam, who will discuss the science of letting go. Mr. Hajadayam is a renowned Sufi meditation leader and the founder of Reinhardt Associates Multicultural Consultant. Please welcome him to the stage.
It's very light. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of the All-Powerful One, the most gracious, most merciful, most forgiving, all compassionate. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to that Lord of all the worlds, of all existence. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the all-merciful, the all-compassionate. Thank you for the honor and the very big challenge to follow those concentrated, collected insights of a true Korean wisdom. It's a big challenge to follow that, but thanks you for this very big honor as well. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah al-barakatuh. This is the greeting among Muslims. You see, the word Muslim was not mentioned in the description of my person. You wonder why. Mu means man. The word man, the word mind, comes from this vibration. And Muslim is a man of peace. So this is the greeting of the Muslims. And what do we wish the other person? And we hear it where I live hundreds and hundreds of times a day. A remembrance of the great blessing and honor to be on the earth. It means peace be with you, O brother, and the mercy of the all-powerful one be upon you. Wa barakatuhu, and his blessings, his harmony,
His beauty. And I recognize this in you, the person I meet. So why is this a huge challenge to come here? Because do I know anybody of you? How do we meet among strangers, extraterrestrials, coming by the force of fate all together in this one place, by seen and unseen forces? What's the meaning of all this? Unknown beings meeting unknown beings. Then ask yourself, have you met yourself? Have I met myself? If I have truly met myself, I may be able to meet you. And please understand, this true meeting is on the level of being and not of thought. When people congregate, there's a huge cloud of mental dissipation, mental vibration, expectations, wishes, scares, fears, disappointments, the feeling of inequality to the situation. In short, suffering. Suffering, human mind is in a constant state of suffering. Paining by its own nature. The name I gave to this performance here is Science of Surrender. Islam considers itself as pure science. And there's a subtitle to it, it's called Measuring Meditation. Because when I was approached about my possible coming here, and I heard it's meditating, it's about meditation and being measured, measurements, certain scientific measurements. Oh no, this is not my field of expertise. So I was very reluctant. I declined actually first. What measures and what is measured? I have a grateful teacher when I was very young at a college. His name is Bagdasarian. It's an Armenian professor. He came from Baghdad, today Iraq, a huge center of Islamic civilization. Nevertheless, he was a Christian, Armenians are Christians, and I was having the good luck to be taught by him, and he somehow early realized that I'm looking for something entirely different than what Western education can offer. And he introduced me to the story of Lao Tzu in this following way. Lao Tzu, probably somewhere between Xinjiang, Lop Nor, or Taklamakan, wandering wise man, coming to a checkpoint in the middle of the desert. Custom excise, what do you have to declare? Please declare your goods. So Lao Tzu was kind of taken aback. And that was similar to the way I responded to the invitation about measurement. Now, did Lao Tzu say, well, I have a pinch of wisdom, a ton of knowledge, and a body of 38 centigrades? He didn't say that, of course. What did he say? That's how the Tao Te Ching starts. If you want to name the Tao, it is not the Tao. The true Tao has no name. This is a very sacred essence of life. And we know it cannot be measured, so understand my reluctance. I live in Africa. I have a research center there. I found it in Dakar, Senegal, about 25 years ago. It's called the Center of Initiation Research. This is not mentioned on this paper, but that's actually what is real. So how do we initiate? From where do we initiate? What means? Where do we start? We have heard all these very wonderful intentions and the good wishes for 1 hour. How do we initiate that change which everybody has proposed? And I noticed the former Prime Minister's address. He had a smiling face, and I felt he's found a certain inner peace. There is smiles on his face as he's talking. And maybe part of the smile is also that he is the former Prime Minister. So one thing we created at the Research Institute in Africa was the Smile Index. The Smile Index, why? I'm an anthropologist by training, and it is an anthropological constant that smile is expressing an internal well-being, internal harmony. And we have discovered that even for animals. Imagine that. So the natural smile, not the one we had to produce, the natural smile is definitely an indicator, a measurement, there we go, of inner, deeper well-being, profoundness, and happiness. Why did we develop this happiness index? Well, United Nations, for whom I worked in some of the missions in Africa, they had also a happiness index. And if you look at it, Scandinavia, Finland, Norway, countries like this are first on the list. Why? Because the density of hospitals, of doctors, of educational institutions, very high. GDP very high, including all the business you make with accidents, with alcohol, and so on. So who knows Scandinavians? There's not much smile. There's a lot of depression and a lot of suicide. Northern countries, they drink at every occasion. When they meet, they have to drink because they don't meet. But in order to push aside the toxic cloud of thinking, ever ongoing thinking. So this is the official happiness index. It's a huge joke. Now, if we would have the busiest airport in the world and have all the nations come through and they all take pictures, which nationalities would be first on the list? I'm telling you. Togo, Nigeria, Benin, Guinea, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina. Countries you probably have no knowledge or just very outside superficial. So these people are naturally smiling. And you have to understand, Gaza is just the entry point to Africa, but we are under a huge attack to follow the ideas of a Western mind, which is specific in thinking, in statistics, as I just mentioned, and is completely off the reality of happiness. And when I talk of this huge aggression, silent, unreported, you only know the little part you see in the news, and even that is highly censored. It's not just physical aggression, it's mostly mental aggression. In order to get money, those governments love it, but they have to follow conditions. Putting children in Western-style schools as if they have not learned before. There's a desk. It separates the head from the body. Very important to understand that we live in a world where most things are not known. And what we know, we can only know it through the heart. True knowledge is in the heart. Just recently, I came about a saying by Confucius, and Korea for me is a very Confucian country, Kung Fu. And I was marveling when I heard that saying for the first time. Confucius supposed to have said, human beings have two lives. And the second life starts when he realizes there's only one life. And believe me, that life is not stopped by death. One life is one life. And if it's one, it's never ending. So what's the difference between the two? Very important question. The science, the Western science, answers this by looking outside with telescopes, microscopes, with instruments, checking the outside world for insights. And Western science never, ever includes the observer's body. So from the viewpoint of Islam, it's a fake science. It will not produce good results, and some of the results have been mentioned by introductory remarks. And just recently, it is well known, you can read it in the New York Times, Trump was pressured to go for aggression because there was looming in the back the threat of this other fellow, I won't even name him, that he would otherwise launch a nuclear bomb. So this whole thing is very surface level. Very important. Islam considers itself true science. In Arabic, it's called ilm. You have E-L-M. L stands for Allah, the all-compassing not universe, the all-compassing creative force, if you want. And M, as I said before, is me, is myself. Take the knowledge of L into M. This is considered the way of true knowledge of science. So Muslims, since the start of Islam, have had their own science, and it always included the body. As you may know, when Muslims congregate or by themselves 5 times a day, they will bend their body, they will bow, they will prostrate. And the minutiae of the body, the movement of the body, is of his awareness. Very important. Mindfulness, there is no mindfulness without awareness of the body whatsoever. So ironically as it may seem, because in English it's called mindfulness, we could call it attention. It actually is by the means of attention to the body only that mindfulness can be achieved. And when do you know? What is the criteria that you know you are now in a state of mindfulness? There can be, as the Buddha says, kanika sati, momentary mindfulness, upachara samadhi, that is neighborhood awareness. Neighborhood to what? Neighborhood to the one. So the world of duality, oh, this world is so very rich, very splendid, very enticing, very desirable. And that same world also can be incredibly underperforming, poor, wretched, negligent, despair. The same world. Obviously, the source of that perception is in your mind. That duality is in your mind. And that is what is manipulated throughout the world. Mind, mind, mind. You sit in the school, if we have the educational minister here, we should tell him, have the children sit every day without. Oh, 3 minutes left, thank you. I stop. Please, can you show the slides? Just in silence, out of respect for these meditation masters. These are masters. My name is Abdul Malik. It means slave of the king. It's not the master. Allah is our master. Here we have some meditation masters. We go through them, we just look at them, and I'll come back to it. Okay, this is the beginning again. This is a rice farmer from Burma. His name is Sechigi. And he was the teacher of U Ba Khin, very famous teacher, because his disciple Goenka Chi is known world over, and I actually met him and practiced with him quite a few times. So you see, this man is holding a tasbih in his hand. He's a Buddhist. Now if you go to the following picture. No, go back please. You see the same man. The Western disciples of Genkachi removed by photoshopping what we in Arabic call tasbih. They removed it because they thought, oh, mindfulness, we have to make it scientific. But you see, this is the lineage of these hundreds of thousands of meditators in the world today, and they are showing this picture. Please, you can turn the picture. Now this is the master of Chetigi, the disciple, who was master of U Ba Khin, master of Goenkaji. Look at him. He has a tasbih. So how do you dare to actually take out an object of mindfulness from the hands of your own masters, from your own lineage? This is the Western insensibility of which I say beware of. Please continue with the slides. Yes? Muslim master, meditator. You see, we'll have a tasbih. Continue. A Hindu master, he has a thread around his breast. He has a tasbih. Another Muslim master. Go ahead. And another one. Please. All right. So, we just noticed some portraits of ancient masters. Some were Buddhist. Some were Muslim. But they were exactly in the same position. They were in exactly the same absorption. There is no Muslim truth except the truth of surrender. Islam means surrender. And in order to find truth, you have to surrender your mind, your ego, all that. There is no Buddhist truth except the truth of enlightenment, of awakening, what Buddha means. Please, can you play this? Let's see what masters do when they congregate together. I said to cut it short, otherwise we can't get through it. You have to give me a few more minutes. Okay, we know there is a seemingly matter, our body is matter, but there is a radiation field around it and everything vibrates by the speed of light. You continue with the next. The next slide, please. No, the next one. This is the famous formula of Einstein. We come back to Einstein. And if you have a purely materialistic approach, mental approach, to this very important formula, the most famous formula of explaining the creation and the transformation of things. I'm a spiritualist. E stands for enlightenment. It usually for materialists. In Arabic, kafirun, kafir, it stands for energy. And this energy equals mass exponential c. And c is the speed of light. And for a meditator, mass is this indispensable item for mindfulness, as I said, the body. That's your mass. That's what you brought to this world. You were thrown into this world with mass. You were born with mass. And the speed of light, 300,000 seconds, kilometers a second, fused, multiplied by itself, unimaginable. So formulas They don't tell you the real picture because it's just an abstraction of the mind. But what does it mean for the meditator? You have the speed of your mind, of your spirit, of nama in Pali, concerned with rupa, your body. And also your body is moving at the speed of light. The electrons, the atoms, everything goes with the speed of light, just as your mind. And meditation, deep penetration of mindfulness by breath, yes, it will enlighten all the cells where oxygen reaches every one and all of the cells. And finally they will become full of light. Full of light. And at that moment you realize there is no separation between mind and matter. So there's no two lives, there's only one life. And that is created by your mind. And if your mind is in constant submission, and I urge everyone to leave down your telephone and fetch this one instead. Because if you're looking for enlightenment, there's no stop, no resting place. You have to continue that awareness, we call it jihad in Islam. It's a certain effort. But you see this wonderful formula. It is truth. There is truth in it. But for a meditator, that truth is much more encompassing. And gladly enough, Einstein had an inkling of it when he said, God doesn't dice. So, of course, we could go further into it, but time is calling. Let's do the last one. The last one I'm showing you as a gift, because the heading of our conference is Unified Mind, Unification, Pacification, making one. How do you make one? It's not for you to make one, but take a hint from the universe. Also Latin, it means verse, it means inclined to the one, bowing to the one. For Muslims, the whole universe bows to the one eternal essence of all existence. That's when you mature from existence to being. And this is practiced by millions and millions of human beings, millions and billions of human beings. And they congregate, and where they congregate, they will have a physical manifestation of this unified mind. And the next video will show you that. And I'm happy to serve you. And I'm glad to give you good news that not all is lost in this world. And we say, Alhamdulillah, grace be to Allah, the all-powerful one, force, creator of this universe. Please, the last slide. Jazakallah khair, and thank you very much. How to put unified mind in motion. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allah is incommensurable, unmeasurable. Much louder, louder. Volume, more volume, more volume, more volume. This is reaching 2-3 million people here. They're all in a state of submission, in a state of bowing together at the same moment. La ilaha illallah. There is no one but the one, unified, collected. Oh Allah, I witness the oneness of all being. Ya Allah, we submit to the witness, we submit to the oneness of all being. Ya Allah, this is the rooftop. There is a second floor, then there's a ground floor to accommodate 3 million Muslims. Come to your salvation, O human mankind. Come to your insight. Come to your being. We invite you to come to your own being.
We're deeply grateful for those insightful remarks and your exploration of letting go as both a spiritual and scientific necessity has left us with much to reflect upon as we move forward. We now move to our second presentation titled The Science of Breath Meditation, Insights from 350 Studies. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Professor Jeffrey Chadwell of Harvard Medical School and the director of the Institute for Technology Assessment at Massachusetts General Hospital. Professor Chadwell has dedicated his career to the rigorous scientific evaluation of meditation and its impact. Joining us virtually today, please join me in welcoming Professor Chadwell to our forum with a warm round of applause.
Greetings, everyone. I'm assuming you can hear me fine. So thank you. It's my honor to be here with you all today, virtually from Boston. I would like to first thank the organizers for putting together this Unified Mind, the World Meditation Day by the World Meditation Day Forum. It's really an
Yes, some technical difficulties appearing. So while we're waiting, again, we're a little delaying our schedule, but don't worry. Lunchtime is coming soon. So everyone, please stay and wait for a few more minutes for the directions. So in the meantime, why don't I provide you with the announcement. First, can I go? Okay. Session 2, which is coming after lunchtime, focus on meditation in various traditions, will feature presentations from 9 esteemed meditation masters. This session will convene at 1:30 p.m. here in Grand Auditorium. Doors will open 30 minutes prior to the start. A modest vegetarian meal has been prepared for all participants and guests in the cafeteria on the B1 level. In keeping with the Jungto Society's zero waste and eco-friendly dining culture, we kindly invite you to take only what you intend to consume and observe our clean plate policy. To alleviate congestions in the dining area, we kindly ask our local participants to wait 20 minutes before proceeding to lunch. We appreciate your kind cooperation. 식당 내 혼잡을 박제하기 위해서 국내 참석자 여러분들께서는 약 20분 후에 식사 장소로 이동해 주시면 감사드리겠습니다. A lounge with a light refreshment is available on the second floor. As we anticipate a high volume of guests, we kindly ask for your consideration in allowing our international participants to use the facility first. Fourth, we kindly remind you return your simultaneous interpretation headsets as you exit the hall. Your cooperation ensures they remain available and in good condition for the following session. 퇴장 시에 출구에 있는 반납처에 통역기를 반드시 반납해 주시기 바랍니다. And few more to go. To avoid congestion at the elevators, we encourage our local attendees to please use the stairs whenever possible. Your patience is greatly appreciated. And lastly, ready to go? Yes. Oh yeah. Lastly, our presenter is virtually, I think he's ready. Professor, can you hear me?
Greetings.
Right.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me fine? I can continue if you can hear me.
Yes, we are ready, fully ready, Professor. Please go ahead.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my slides. Can you see my screen? The slides?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. It's again, greetings, everybody. It's truly my honor to be attending this session by the World Meditation Day Forum. I really congratulate the organizers for putting this together, an international symposium, bringing people from different perspectives, different traditions, and scientific backgrounds into this one place. And I'll be I know we're running late, so I'll be talking briefly about the science of breath-based meditation. So when I say breath-based, we're talking about a controlled breath breathing. By controlled breathing, it's different than observing, being in the mindful breathing. An example I would give is, for example, you can breathe with me, like take a breath in at the count of 4, like breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. This is just one example of controlled breathing. This is called box breathing. There are many different kinds of breathing exercises that have been practiced over centuries in different traditions. And they have only recently, we have started to understand the scientific benefits of controlled breathing. Now, what happens is when we do controlled breathing, we activate our parasympathetic nervous system, and then it activates the vagus nerve, and it very quickly brings changes to our mental state as well as the physiology of the body. So we'll be talking about what has been done, what the science is saying about this controlled breathing. So we conducted the literature review of all the different kinds of controlled breathing practices that have been published, I would say in English language. That is one of the limitations. And then we mapped all the health outcomes, the outcomes that have been studied. Did they study physical, mental, emotional, whatever? All those were also considered. And then we assessed the methodology, were there any limitations, what were the gaps? So we extracted data from 353 studies. We looked at different kinds of breathing practices, what outcomes they analyzed. And this is from where the studies come, right? From large volume of studies are coming from India because many of these breathing practices came from India. So naturally, the number of studies have there. Then the United States, Germany, and so on. In others, I don't know what exactly demographics of that is, but I would say that we may have outlooked. We did not consider studies which were not in English language. So what these studies included? So they looked at individuals. Majority of them were in healthy individuals. Some looked at the mental health space. Others look at hypertension, cardiovascular, and so on. So different aspects of our well-being. And what population characteristics they included? Most of them did not specify any specific population, non-targeted population. Interestingly, second largest group was students and educational groups, which was quite interesting. And there were other specialized groups like in veterans, military, and people who take substance like drugs or alcohol. Among healthy individuals, we found 222 studies, and they looked at slow, deep breathing. That was one of the most common type of breath work. If you look at mental health studies, we found 29 studies. They studied conditions like anxiety and depression, PTSD, burnout, bipolar disorder, and the majority of these were studied by one specific kind of specialized breathing practice called Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, SKY. That was quite powerful and influential in looking at the mental health conditions. And other conditions that have been studied were hypertension, cardiovascular disease, also in pain conditions. In many cancer patients, we found some studies in different kinds of cancer, in chronic kidney disease, and etc., and also in diabetic patients. Now, what are different kinds of breathing sizes? And controlled breathing is one, which is the most common one, is just simply slow, deep breathing. Breathe in slowly, very deep breaths, and breathe out deeply. And there is spaced breathing, and there are different kinds of pranayams that is specific, that activates again the vagal tone. And there's like sky I already mentioned, and there's alternate nostril breathing. Some of you may have heard about it or practice. We breathe in from one nostril and breathe out from the other, and do that. So this is how different kinds of breathing exercises have been studied. So this is a glossary of techniques that defines different practices. I don't need to go into details. Alright, so this is interesting. When we look at these studies, the left graph shows the duration of breathing practice per session. We see a huge variation. The majority of the studies, what's interesting is they looked at just doing controlled breathing for 5 minutes. And then we see on the other side, there's a few small amount of studies controlled breathing for really like long, more than 1 hour. And we found quite interesting that even for less than even 5 minutes of breathing can really start producing changes in the body. On the right side, it shows that the kinds of studies that were done, were they in like kinds of sessions, like a single session, was it like one time, was it done over 1 week, 1 month, or longer? And we see what interesting we see is that studies that continued for more than 1 year is very few studies. That really shows a gap in our understanding of what happens long term when people are practicing controlled breath work. Now, what kind of outcomes did this study? They look at cardiovascular health, general well-being, respiratory functions, anxiety, depression, and so on. And so this is the whole crux of all these 350 studies. And what we found was 88% of the studies reported positive benefits. And they found that controlled breath work is effective in their improving the positive outcomes, whatever they were studying. In cardiovascular, was it in stress, or was it mental health conditions? And all those overall 88% were showing it to be effective, which is quite powerful. When you look at how this variation, this effectiveness varies by different factors or characteristics. Like if it's a randomized controlled trial, what we found was 94.4% of the studies found that controlled breathing is effective. And then other, like we see some variation, but it's not a huge variation. That was an interesting message here. Like even like we see some variation in physical outcomes versus mental health outcomes. The variation is between 93 to 87%. Still, I would say it's very high. Now, what does it mean? What are the implications? First, for clinicians, it clearly sets a clear message that a controlled breathwork can be a pragmatic tool for managing stress, anxiety, and other kinds of conditions, health conditions. And for the research community, what we found the message is that there's a greater standardization. It seems like there's some audio issue. I'll try to see what's from my side. I don't know if you can change any setting. I'll continue.
Okay, Professor, can you hear me? We're having some technical difficulties here. We weren't able to actually listen to your presentation clearly. Can you hear me? Can you show me the sign if you can hear me? Okay. Okay, Professor, can you give us some, moment? Mr. Taeyang님, do you want me to ask him to go back or continue?
All right. So I'll just wrap up here. I think there may be something here. Just a conclusion, if you can hear me.
Professor? Not yet. We haven't heard your key points. Ooh. Thanks for your patience, audience. Things happen like this, right? Special day. Okay. Hello? Okay. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we need to actually wrap up this session. And especially his presentation was perfectly matching with our theme of forum. So hopefully we'll find a way to listen to his presentation. So we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, as I explained to you previously, let's have a lunch time. But those who are having the monitors, the machine for translation, please leave them to the volunteers outside. For the guests, please proceed outside and have a lunch. And Korean participant, please wait 15 to 20 more minutes to avoid the congestions, as I previously explained. All right? Thank you very much for your patience and have a great lunch. 한국 내외 분들은 한 15분에서 20분 정도 기다렸다가 식당을 가시면은 네, 좀 분주함을 좀 피하실 수 있을 것 같습니다. 오늘 네, 내빈 손님들은 가시고요. 저희 정토 회원 참석자들은 한 15분에서 20분 정도 조금 계시다가 식사를 하시는 걸로 하겠습니다. 예, 감사합니다. 맛있게 점수하십시오.